Ladies and gentlemen, I want to apologize. The episode that we watched was a lot longer than we thought it would be, so that's why we're late.
I told my people 10:30.
Fair enough.
So, I didn't know it was 51 minutes, though. Let's begin.
Did it really need to be 51 minutes?
I threw my theme song on top of that for the podcast, so you didn't hear our introductory music. But, yeah, welcome to LIW Tales from the Crypt Review. Never Go Back number 3 for Outer Limits 129, a feasibility study suggested by Lucky 130 on, or his handle is Mr. Lucky 130. He suggested this episode, and I'm Phoenix West.
I'm Adam Wilcox.
Dickette.
You really hit those T's that time.
Yeah, I did.
All right, guys. We watched a 51-minute episode for a show I haven't seen since I was a kid, and I didn't really watch it that much. I didn't really care for it.
Well, it was the show produced 1963 to 1965.
Are you a battle rapper now?
It feels like it.
Fast.
I don't know. It just came out fast. It was written by the guy that wrote the screenplay for Psycho, this episode. He also wrote 13 other episodes of the Twilight Zone, or Outer Limits. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Can't say that.
So Dick's off the show now. So
yeah, I'm done. Good night.
I don't know what we watched. I'm still kind of. I think we should have taken like 3 days off and discussed it. Ghost Dad would have been more entertaining.
Maybe that'll be what we do next week.
Never go back. Never go back.
Never.
Wow.
Some things you can't go back from, Bill. And
so
you're experiencing that now.
This was Dark City, kind of.
Kind of was.
Let's go over the things we compared it to. Dark City, the last episode of 2019 Twilight Zone, which is called You Might Also Like, directed by Oz Perkins, which is the son of Anthony Perkins, who was in Psycho. So we got a couple references there. It kind of reminded me of The Mist, The Fog.
Gay porno.
Gay porno.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was a big piece of the live broadcast of the watching of the episode.
Yeah, you gotta subscribe to the Patreon to hear that episode, because we talked about a DVD series that we made up called Two Guys Sweat. It was heavily referenced. I think we mentioned it 1,000 times. 45
DVD set. And oddly enough, they're only about half an hour each DVD.
Let's just say I got half the set right here.
Yeah.
Well, this is part of it. The DVDs are in here. There's another one over here. And there's a big projector on top. And it just shoots out the video on the wall. It's really cool. You don't have to take
It's a cock.
Oh, yeah, I guess it is.
Go figure.
Never
like this episode was a cock.
I understand now why you don't like this show. I get it.
This episode's a giant shit, golden shit.
Literally. Like literally. Okay.
We should probably put on the brakes and describe the episode. And for
if you can.
Yeah, we're going to need everyone to get involved here. I'll set up the introduction is we have a bunch of, models of planets, and all of a sudden there's a spaceship and it lands on Earth and it sucks it up, Age of Ultron style, like this little town, and sucks it up. So we know right off the bat that they're not on Earth. Because when we meet our characters, all 4 characters have a butt chin. And I think they should make out with their chins, because that would be erotic as hell. But they have just the vague conversations where I thought it was going to be our main guy. Because the first thing we cut to after the do not adjust your set thing is a guy driving. He's hotboxing in his car. And he rolls on the window and he steps out and he touches like the styrofoam floor. And then he collapses, and then he runs into some golden shit monsters. And that's where that ends.
Well, he fell into a big pile of asbestos dirt, or don't forget about that. And he looked like the Carl Malden with AIDS.
Yeah. And a nosectomy.
And he lost his nose in the transfer to this other planet.
Yeah. The guy... Can someone else pick up what happens after that? We need to take turns here.
I got it. And then we're introduced to the neighbor who is a doctor with a wife who they're miserable. and then he can't go to work, so because his car doesn't start.
Yeah.
And then he goes to the neighbor, asks the neighbor for a ride, but then the neighbor just drives off without him.
No, they drive together.
They drive. Oh, that's right. He drops him off at the church. Or did he?
I don't know about the church. Yeah, I think you're right. I remember seeing that church, which is the church on Franklin.
It was, yes. And then he leaves the doctor neighbor and he drives off into the mist. And that's where the episode opened. We basically get the same shit again. That's why this episode is 51 minutes long. They show the same 5 minutes again, where the three shit people come out of the asbestos fog and doesn't really say anything to the guy. He just runs away and they grab him with their shit hand and then they give him the cum disease because he's covered in cum next time we see him. Literally.
He was 67 volumes deep into the Two Men Sweat collection. But
I mean, everywhere.
He was Stan Marsh in South Park when the internet goes out. Finally gets it back.
That's what it looks like. He is literally covered in this translucent, thick yogurt cream.
If this is gonna be that kind of party, I'm gonna stick my dick in the mashed potato.
Was that from Sanford and Son?
No.
Oh.
I don't think Sanford and Son was that filthy.
I don't remember that in Sanford and Son.
That guy died today. One of the
and then Abe, the female woman with the butt chin, with the better butt chin, she goes to the car, the neighbor's car, and she has to check on it.
Oh, yeah.
She looks under the hood, and the engine's gone.
And she's like, that fucking guy, and looks down
and then
back.
Yeah, she closes it, and then she opens it up again. The engine gets put into the car.
And they don't ever explain why they took the engine away. Does this happen every fucking day?
Well, because I guess they're trying to say you can't go beyond the 6-block radius.
Is this supposed to be day number 1 that we're watching?
This is day number 1. This is the first 10 minutes of the episode.
I just didn't know if they've been living there for a while.
Well, that's the thing. They've been living there for years. They just got removed, and they don't know they've been removed from Earth.
Do they say that, or is this day number 1?
I don't know.
Because
they never tell us that.
Why?
They never said. Yeah.
Exactly. So we have to see day number 1, and that's why they broke his car down. And so every day they got to come up with a different hijinks to pull on this guy to make him stay at home or get it. Because they let that one guy's car be fine, so clearly it wasn't for him to avoid driving.
But then the whole point to this plan, the aliens, is a feasibility study, right? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, we're gonna get there. Don't.
Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah. I just want to get ahead because nothing happens for 20 minutes.
Adam's rage building.
What happens after that atom?
I don't know. All I know is that I would rather lick the COVID-19 out of Brie Larson's sweaty, hairy armpit than ever watch this episode again.
I would just do that in general on a Tuesday.
Okay.
I can't stand it, but she's fucking hot.
I
hate her, but I have dreams about her. It's horrible.
What I hate about is any show that pretends like it has something to say, but then ultimately has nothing to say. And that's what this is. This is 51 minutes of nothing to say. And not very entertaining. There's not good acting. There's not a good story.
I would disagree. I would say it had 550 things to say in 51 minutes, which was the problem.
Adam, can you start? I just remember the next scene. The husband comes back home, and then they go into the neighbor thing in the guest house or whatever the fuck that is. Can you?
Okay, the guest house. That's when there's somebody inside there saying, and he's got this really strange vocal pattern. It sounds like it's dropped.
Let's start with the husband gets back, covered in cum, falls down, and vanishes. Then
is that before the vocals? Okay, yeah. So the husband comes. Okay, so you just described that. Then they go back to the house, try to figure out who's in there, and don't come in here. I'm part of an experiment. And then some kind of your people are not superior enough to handle what we're doing. It completely lost me. I got lost in this episode so many times that I got pissed at it and I gave the fuck up. I really did. You don't actually see the person in the beach house. You just see a shadow on a wall, and you hear somebody talking shit. I couldn't even make out half of the dialogue.
He had a line there that made me laugh really hard, but I forgot what it was.
That's how funny it was.
Yeah,
It was
all
so
three of us were
funny.
like, did he really say that? I'm not going to rewind and find out what he said.
No.
Like that.
I could, yeah, because it's well, it doesn't make any sense because he's talking about, oh, you guys are so feeble, you're so awful, blah blah blah. But you're the alien race that kidnapped them to be your slave. So which is it? They can't do the work, or can they? You 16-year-old asshole.
That's right. I'm 16 years old.
Yeah.
You or something like that. I'm like, okay.
I'd be 16 of your Earth years, but I'm beyond you in capacity of mental facility.
He says he's 16, so he's elderly. That's what he said. And this is what Dick was saying.
Oh, you know why he said that? You know why he said that? Because he's turning into a shit man.
Yeah.
So that's why when you turn 18, you're shit. And actually, there you go. That's the parable. If you're 18, you're shit. You just turn into an asshole at 18.
I was an asshole before 18.
This is true.
Yeah. No. I met you when I was 19. So I was an asshole.
That's
Yeah.
fine. Yeah,
that was going on for a while.
That was 12 years old and on.
Yeah. No, way before that. I think I was an asshole when I saw this fucking episode when I was a child. I think this
probably.
This is where it all started. You watched this and it ruined you at a very young age.
Adam, I've done a bunch of these shows with you. How often do I really struggle to describe an episode? I don't know if it's ever happened before like this.
Not this hard, but like as soon as you like take it away, Adam, I'm like, where the fuck do I go with this? I don't even know.
That's why I said I need your help. I need everyone's help.
It's a group of scenes that just happen, and like you said, like everybody said, it's like 4 or 5 different plots going on all at the same time, and all of them are connected with nothing. Like they're not even connected. It's just things happening, and a lot of padding and stretching in between too.
You guys ever look or watch part of that? I never watched the whole movie, but there's a movie that they let an AI robot write, and Thomas Middleditch is in it, and I watched his scene, and so it's nonsense, and they're trying to act it out, but it's complete nonsense, and they're staying like really in character, and they're trying to say it as real as possible, but it's like it's the script. The AI robot would write a random gun in this scenario. All of a sudden, the guy's holding a gun, and when they cut back to him, so they try to make sense of it. That's what I felt like I was watching this, and I'm like, we have to write a sci-fi scene
by an algorithm.
Yeah. Have a guy be, oh, I'm 16, and then he runs out and steals the car with the wife in it, and then they drive the fuck away.
And then that's the other problem with the episode. These aliens are diseased, so they kidnap humans who get the disease. So they're going to die or rot away into shit-cum people. And they need them for their slave-based economy that we never see, and we still don't know exactly what they were doing for the aliens at all. Because the aliens say
human trafficking, because why not?
Yeah, it's just that they kidnap the humans because they need slave labor, because they can't move, because they're shit people. So all they use is their minds.
Their hands are like,
well, they're shit.
Welded bronze shit.
Yeah, they're shit people, literally shit people. So they're all members of U2.
Everybody in this show looks like they were sculpted out of caramel corn. Okay,
pretty much, yes.
Okay.
But, yeah.
This is why I want to take a pause. I want to take a pause right here and just say Lucky 130 said, after I said, if we hate Outer Limits after this, it will be entirely your fault. With great power comes great shame and insults hurled at you by us. I think that's the quote. That's what I said. And then he wrote, hopefully you won't. It's arguably the best out of both seasons.
Oh, well, they were not much. No.
This is 8.2 on IMDb.
I can't believe that. Maybe people that like David Lynch movies would like this. I don't know.
I like Lost Highway.
Call me.
The Lost Highway makes more sense than this, at least.
Well, I think that's the problem. I think this episode was just too heavy-handed, and it's like he's trying to make an allegory for freedom, slavery, imperialism, colonization, rape, and
Apathy.
and gay porno.
And turd people.
Like everything. It's just like, what is this? What is this about? Because at the end, basically, they all go to the which. Okay, here we go. Again, at the end, he decides to go to the church and round up the local people, I guess, within the 6 block radius. So they all go to the church, and two of them are a Jewish couple. Which, again, why?
Why are they there?
Why?
With a Catholic priest up there.
Yeah, and he basically says, "Look, I just talked to the shit people. We're not on Earth. We're in shit planet with the shit people. They want us to be their slaves. But my wife has the shit disease, and my neighbor has the cum disease."
I like when the wife describes to him, because at one point there's a scene where he puts her in the bed in a weird shot where he starts up and rolls it down.
It was reversed.
And then she's in bed in a silk robe under this weird Teflon blanket, like it's a NASA blanket. And she just gets up after he did that. And then she was hiding something right here, which is like the infection.
The golden.
Yeah. She has a line later where she's describing, because she was the one in the car that got kidnapped by the guy. Or she was the one, I don't know. I can't get these women straight. Anyway, she says a line to him later where she goes, "He didn't touch me or anything." I'm like, do you really got to say that? Because
we breathe the same air. We breathe the same air.
So what you're trying to say is women with butt chins all look alike to you.
Yes. So
Okay.
why do they have that line when later on the whole thing is, let's touch each other's hands, let's hold hands so we all get this infection?
Well, I guess that's the moral of the story, is that instead of being slaves, they'll just kill themselves.
No, they're doing both.
But are they?
Yeah, the point of it is we're still going to be slaves, but if we sacrifice ourselves, they won't keep taking humans from Earth.
Because we fucked up their whole study.
We're choosing, like the whole thing was like, we got free will to be a slave. We're
Right.
gonna do that. We're going to serve these people. We don't ever really see or hear what they're going to do specifically.
Right.
Maybe clean up their turd droppings off them. I don't know. But so they sacrifice themselves to save the whole planet, which is.
But the thing is, like with an attitude like that, how does the Underground Railroad work? Like in the Civil War, if that was the attitude of the people who escaped slavery, you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna go get cancer, just die. I'm gonna die out here. They're gonna make me be a slave no more. I can go be free in New York, but fuck that. I'm gonna go die in the cotton field and just lay there dead. Like, what is that the moral?
You lost me there.
Exactly. Exactly.
It's the one part of the episode I liked.
What, the cum monster or the?
No, when he's like his little speech there, and then they show Earth, and it's like feasibility study,
Right?
Canceled. Humans are not worth this shit. Like, too much of a hassle. Fuck this.
We will use little midgets.
That was literally the end of the show too, right? It was like feasibility study canceled, like the very last line.
Yeah. And they show the big crater. Yeah.
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 By the way, when we were watching this, literally 3 seconds into the show, Phoenix says, "I hate this. I hate it." He was right. There's no argument. There's no more score past "I hate this," because as it went on, it became more and more annoyingly uncomfortable as it went on.
There were certain. Now that we get the story out of the way, there were certain little things I liked, but they were so minuscule compared to the greater episode, which was 51 fucking minutes. Cannot stress that enough, how long it is.
It could have been 45
minutes.
It should have been a Twilight Zone episode. Should have been 25 minutes. I wouldn't have hated it much. It was twice as long.
That's the funny thing. It's 51 minutes, but it still has less than 24 minutes worth of story to tell.
And it repeated itself. They showed the beginning twice.
Stock footage and
Yeah,
B-roll
I mean,
reused
Yeah.
excessively in this episode.
You didn't need the cold open. They could have cut out that 5 minutes.
Ugh.
Start with just where they started and go from there, but just cut out all the long nonsensical conversations the man has with his wife about, I gotta go in. No, you can't go. I gotta stay here. Well, I gotta go. What are you doing with it? And I'm like, I don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
no, that's the best line though. When he goes, you spend 20 hours at the hospital, but I spend 4 with you.
At least Outer Limits Pod is here. I was curious if they would catch on that we're doing that. That's why I posted it on all the platforms on Twitter.
Do you want to read what you said?
At least check out Demon with a Glass Hand or Soldier. The Terminator.
Soldier's the Terminator buff. Yeah. Soldier's basically, he goes back into time and looking for Sarah Connor.
Yeah.
But instead of Sarah Connor, he's looking for James Cameron. Ironic. It's not true. I never saw it. But I know what he's talking about. I've seen Outer Limit episodes. I think some of them are actually, they're just too long, and I think that's the issue.
Yeah, I think that's part of the detriment to the show is it just doesn't need to be that long.
Brevity of wit, you need that. You need that. It doesn't, because this is, again, it gets muddled. The message is muddled. Is it about a couple who has problems and are trying to figure their situation out, and then she gets the shit disease, and then he's just like, fuck it, I'll take the shit disease too, we'll all die. And then it's like, well, you got aliens that are shit people talking to him on a really bad set with really horrible asbestos smoke filling the lungs of the actors in 1963.
Those people that all died at the end.
Well, they all died, right? Yeah, they're dead.
Yeah, they really did not think twice about giving up their entire existence. Like, it's just like, okay, cool.
Here's my problem with what you guys just said. You say they're dead. I don't think they are dead. Other than the guy saying I'm 16 and I'm old, they don't really go into any specifics in any direction as far as if you turn into a turd creature, are you dead now? How long do you live? Do you just turn into one of them? I don't know anything about this. And so it kind of ruins the effect of the episode for me because I don't know what they sacrificed.
Well, that was the other thing, because I thought the whole point of them being shit people was that they evolved to this point where they didn't need a physical body because their minds are so superior. And that's what they said. They said their minds are superior, and that's why we look like this. And it's like, okay, yeah, and we need you to make He Who Sweats videos.
Quick question to Victor, Outer Limits Podcast. Victor, is this episode a good representation for you? Because you suggested some as well, and I did like polls and narrow it down which one won. The ones that Victor put on there did not win. Is this for you a good representation of the Outer Limits? Because this is really my first foray into the Outer Limits. So I don't know if this is what I would expect with a regular episode. Are they all this scatterbrained? Because there's 75 ideas in this. They don't focus on one.
Yeah.
And this is why I say it should have been 25 minutes, because they could have removed all those random ideas. Because it throws in so many different ideas that you're kind of like, where am I? You don't know where you're supposed to be looking. You don't feel satisfied by the ending.
You don't need the first couple.
No.
Yeah.
You need one couple. You need the doctor couple. That's it. And he goes to the six block radius.
Yeah.
And he sees the fog and he says, "What is this?" He goes back home, and then he tells his wife, and then the wife goes with him, and then they run into the 16-year-old shit person. That would make more sense in the set of the fog, asbestos, smoke, all that shit. And then they meet. That's when that's Act 2. They meet the shit people, and the shit people say, "We're taking you from your star Earth, and we've put you here to be our slaves for some reason.
To work in the shit mines.
You're going to work in the shit mines. You're the only ones who can handle bleach without being burnt horribly."
Let me pull up the ones that Victor did, because he said basically just said, I don't have it in front of me anymore. But he said he hasn't seen this one. It's kind of a journey of discovery for him as well. So, and he says he threw out some different ones that he likes. So let me look up those ones that he said, because I'm curious now.
I'm sure there's good episodes. I'm sure.
Yeah. There was one tiny aspect of this I liked. I like the fact that this is like you and I have watched a lot of newer Twilight Zones where there's this dystopian ending or the world's ending type of thing, and it usually always ends on a massive downer. I do like the aspect that this is humanist, and that they're thinking that humans will bind together to allegedly do the right thing. But like you said, there's no gravity to what they're giving up because we don't really know what turning into shit people entails. And besides that, we live in 2020 where everybody is shit people now. So
yeah,
especially on Twitter.
Especially Twitter.
You will join us on Twitter.
So what we're going to do next time, if we ever do an Outer Limits episode again, we're going to choose one of Victor's. He said The Man Who Was Never Born.
Okay.
The Zanti Misfits, or Zanti. And is that all he said? Yeah, those two.
Well, maybe I'm confusing this with a Twilight Zone episode. Is there a Twilight Zone episode where it's Bewitched and Charles Bronson are in an episode?
Yeah.
Is that a Twilight Zone episode? Okay.
So called 2. It's the
Yes.
first episode of season 3.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
I think there's one like that with Outer Limits.
Oh, okay.
Like
There's also another Twilight Zone episode about that Adam and I watched called The Seventh is Made Up of... No, that's the other one. The other one with 7 in it. What's that called? Season 5. It's Probe 7 over and out.
That one.
Episode 9 of season 5, I believe.
Yeah, the Adam and Eve episode.
Yeah.
I remember you're a robot. Robot on the asteroid.
Yeah.
No, that
Asimov called them robots.
That episode is 107. That's The Lonely.
That's the Twilight Zone episode.
That's the one with Jack Warden.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, that's a totally different one.
Yeah.
Do you want to hear? Do you want to see a filthy introduction of that by Rod Serling?
I would love
Adam
to.
saw this yesterday, but
Let's show it again.
okay. So this is, I found it. It was before the show came out. Rod pitched it. It is fucking filthy. I can't believe what he tried to do in the early days. Well, let me pull that up real quick.
I'm scared.
This is represents desert. The desert that
Sorry, let me.
this is represents desert. The desert that you'll see on your screen in a story we call The Lonely. The Lonely is about a man sentenced to a lifetime of solitary confinement. The confinement takes place on a asteroid far out in space. It's the story about a man slowly succumbing to a kind of nightmarish loneliness, the gradual disintegration of mind and body because human beings have that palpable need. A most benevolent and compassionate official sends the prisoner a long rectangular containing, well, a machine. A machine inside of a robot built in the form of a woman. It's a robot that and like a human being. A robot that thinks like a human being. Gentlemen, I can only tell you that The Lonely, which involves a man and a woman made out of plastic and wire for a will provide a most bizarre experience. As to the physiological extensions of their relationship, that is, man and female, and what they do in their spare time, we're leaving this open.
Yeah, I can't believe he tried to pitch the show that way.
Well,
Crazy.
it was a different time in the early 60s.
Yeah, or 50s.
Where you could say fucking robot in the same sentence on television.
Oh, I can't believe that. But yeah, it's this episode.
No robots.
I can't think of a Twilight Zone it reminds me of because it felt nothing like the Twilight Zone, which I guess is a good thing. It felt like 75 different ideas shoved into a blender and an AI robot spit out an episode. And that's unfortunate. I was kind of looking forward to this. That's why I let Twitter decide what we're going to do next. And
Well, every sci-fi show has this story. Because the Star Trek Next Generation had this story. They have the episode where the aliens kidnap like 6 different people, put them in a room. It's basically 5 people looking for an exit. The Twilight Zone episode was it 5
people in search of an exit?
5 people in search of an exit. Yeah, and then I think Buffy the Vampire Slayer did an episode like that too.
Yeah, the problem is it's not just that. So it's not.
No, well, that's the thing. Yeah,
people looking for an exit.
Yeah,
people trapped like Dark City. It's that plus sacrifice plus alien abduction plus it's just like 7 different ideas that are really heady and could be one episode, and it's all in there, and you're kind of left with like, what the fuck am I supposed to be looking for? What am I supposed to be grabbing onto? There's nothing to grasp. There's nothing to go, yes, I love that. The last scene of the movie, of the episode, because it was almost as long as the movie, I liked that little speech, and I liked the idea of it. But it was so far gone at that point, and I didn't give a shit by the time I got there.
Well, I think that's why everybody forgives it. It's the ending. The ending works, and that's why everyone forgets the first 50 minutes.
I don't know what it is.
I think that's what it is. It's just because the guy has the nice speech. He's like, we're not gonna stop them. Who will join me? Come on, Jews, come here, hold my hand. Get the shit disease. Come on.
It is. Especially nowadays, it did feel very Corona-ish.
It is very Corona, yeah.
Because his speech is, because his speech at the beginning baffled us, because he doesn't start out by saying, let's sacrifice ourselves. He starts off by going, we're here. I talked to the shit turd people. They said we have to be slaves. So we're going to go ahead and be slaves. We're going to stay inside. We're not going to leave our 6-block radius. We're going to stay in the ghetto here. We're not going to leave it. We're going to sacrifice our lives for them. We're going to be slaves. We're going to love it. And we're not going to leave our house. We're going to be scared of each other. We're not going to touch each other. And we won't breathe the same air. We'll wear masks. And it's like, holy shit, this resonates a lot right now. But then he just goes, fuck it, let's sacrifice ourselves so they don't abduct any more humans. And I was like,
everybody's just like, okay.
And did they know? I guess they all figured it out that moment that they were all on an alien planet. Because when the first thing you would hear, like
they
if you heard
really
that,
fast, didn't they?
Yeah, it's like nobody was just like, the fuck you talking about? We're on an alien planet?
Yeah, nowadays it would be like at least 6 weeks of people arguing about maybe in your world, maybe that's something a Democrat would say,
Liberal.
I think that's why they had the man enter the church and just be like, I'm a commie goo monster.
Telling you,
be that guy.
I mean, again, it could have been an allegory for AIDS.
Yeah, so I was thinking AIDS, and then we're just like,
typical fucking Karens and their outer space bullshit again.
Exactly.
I was thinking AIDS when she goes, I was in the car with him. I didn't touch him, I swear.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, yeah, they're going for something here.
He made me watch He Sweats.
This is before the government invented AIDS, though, so we don't have that.
That's
AIDS!
That's right, Rich Evans. This is such a weird fucking episode. I want to look up the trivia.
There's. I looked it up. There's nothing on there. There's two trivias.
Oh,
there's two of it. I think one of them was the guy wrote Psycho, and the other one was this is a COVID story.
Oh, really?
No, I made that up. That's not true.
Oh, we should do that. I do. The main girl in this episode is in an episode of Twilight Zone called 4 O'Clock, which is like a weird paranoia Red Scare type episode, and it sucks. But that's all I got for trivia.
There's not much. Were we going to talk about Oz Perkins?
Yeah, that's what we're going to get to next.
Okay.
So, partway through the episode, I was like, oh, this is reminding me a lot of the last episode you might also like of 2019's Twilight Zone, Season 2, Episode 10. Because it starts off, that episode is about women alone at home. Their men are nowhere to be found. And yes, I want to say their men because it's like very 1950s, 2020. It's weird. And this episode starts off, and when the men went to work and they drove away, I'm like, oh, here we go. Now we're in that episode. Like it's where that episode picks up, where just the men are gone. And they're like talking about this mysterious egg. This is the one Oz Perkins wrote. It's fucking terrible. And they're all looking forward to an egg, and they're going to bring the egg into their home, and everything will be different forever. That's what the episode's about. So I'm watching this, and I'm like, okay, here we go. And I'm waiting. And it didn't it was very, very similar. That episode's also about alien abduction, like the aliens, the candidates from the episode To Serve Man. They're back. It's a sequel episode to that episode, so it's doubly insulting if you're
shitting me. Is it really?
Nope, it is.
How the fuck?
Yes.
How?
I will. Whatever you're gonna ask, I will not have an answer for you.
Okay. That's a cookbook.
Yeah. Well, imagine that excitement, and then remove all that, and then add pretend witty dialogue. I was working about that episode. That script is so fucking clever. And
well, he writes for chicks, right? Because his movies tend to be about women.
Because he wrote Gretel and Hansel, which I saw this year.
I was just gonna say that you saw that. Dick and I both saw
Black Coat's Daughter,
which is fine. It's a good.
I liked that one quite a bit, actually.
Yeah. I don't like it quite a bit. I liked it.
I thought it was what threw me off in Black Coat's Daughter was Emma Roberts is supposed to be the same girl. I'm just like, that did not compute at all, unless she had like fucking plastic surgery.
Well, think about Lost Highway, where the guy just turns into another guy in a prison cell. It's another David Lynch thing.
Call me.
Now hand me back my phone.
Give me back my fucking phone. Oh God.
Yeah, he murdered a person.
Yes, but she deserved it. She was a bitch. She was an awful human being. She deserved it.
Don't we all?
She made Christian Brando kill himself. So think about that.
Yeah,
exactly.
That'll show her.
We won't be slaves to her.
Damn right. Let's all hold hands.
Let's hold hands and get the shit disease.
Get this AIDS coronavirus together.
Oh man,
come on our faces.
That's the thing though. Is like I don't hate it, and I understand why people would like this episode. Yeah. But there's like this is layers upon layers upon layers of shit that don't connect.
Yeah, I don't want to fault the show for this, but I do remember at least the little bits of Outer Limits I watched when I was a kid, and I do remember getting bored with them, probably like the same way I am now. But the little bits that I've seen over the years, I've never watched an episode all the way through. Maybe it's on in the background. Maybe like, oh, hey, the Outer Limits. Then I walk off and do something else and forget about it. The makeup and special effects were always intensely bad.
It's like, lost in space. It's lost in space.
I don't want to judge it for that, though, because, I mean, we've come a long way since, like, Star Trek The Next Generation or whatever, but still, it's hard to take things seriously when they look that bad.
When they look like goopy cum monsters.
Right. Even by 60 standards, man. Come on, you know?
Like, literally, goopy cum monster.
Like the guy looked like he had glittery silly putty on his face.
No, it was really bad. It was very goofy. But again, I think this show, maybe you could do a fan edit and it would actually come out really good.
Yeah, it couldn't hurt it. I'll say that. And Dick, I completely agree. I didn't hate it, but also I was like, I don't want to watch this again.
Yeah.
I don't. It makes me scared to watch any more Outer Limits. It makes me think I was right about the show. Because we didn't just choose a random episode like we did. Like for some of the shows, we chose a random one. This is a guy that said this is the best episode. It represents it the best. So we're starting with like this should be top tier. We're like we should be like blown away right now. But instead, I'm like I'm so on the fence that I don't want to be on the other side of. One side's shit Earth and the other side's a shit planet, and I don't want to step on the other side.
But then again, you got to remember that we are people who have seen a lot of content. So we've seen this same story multiple times in different mediums. Like, I mean, I've heard radio shows that have the same storyline as this, like X-1.
I'm overly critical of stuff like this.
Yeah, and I think that's our problem because I'm sure, like, if we saw this without the backgrounds that we have, we'd probably be like, yeah, it was pretty good.
I think if I saw it before I saw one of my favorite movies, which is Dark City, I'd like this episode more.
Probably, yeah.
Also, one of my favorite Twilight Zone episodes, The Monsters Do on Maple Street, is very similar to this as well.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm glad you mentioned that because that's kind of why we started doing this show in the first place is to just explore which of these shows that we remember being awesome from the past have held up over the time. Like by 1960 standards, watching this when there's literally not a lot of other stuff to compete with, yeah, this might have been the greatest thing since sliced bread. But going back and watching it in 2020, has it held up? Does it offer anything? Is it still cool, even on a nostalgic level, or is it just a loosely strung bunch of ideas that were like, why the fuck did we watch this? You know, that's what I love about this show.
Yeah. And it's kind of like the Twilight Zone means so much to me that even the bad episodes, I'll go, it was bad, but whatever. It's Twilight Zone. And it means a lot to me. So I'd imagine someone who thinks that way about the Outer Limits, when I watch it, I go, that episode was terrible. But to them, it's they might go, this is not a good episode, but I still love it because I love Outer Limits. So it's hard for me to put myself in their shoes and that mindset, because this show means fucking nothing to me.
I legit adore the X-Files. I love the fuck out of the X-Files. I have them in a box set behind me. There's a lot of episodes that are not good. Like when I watch them and I'm popping the Blu-ray in, I'll skip over them because I'm like, seeing that episode sucks. But that kind of goes back to what we were saying before about older TV shows having more episodes. You could throw a couple of trash episodes in there and nobody really cares. It's not going to make anybody necessarily stop watching the show. It's like, well, this week sucked, but there's always next week. And the fun part is every week there's a different story. They're not taking an entire season and telling you one fuck all boring story and dragging their heels to try to tell it to you. I appreciate that about old TV shows. I really do.
Well, X-Files had 2 big arc stories, right?
Yes, and then they had the mythology episodes, and then you had the monster of the week stuff. And a lot of people love the monster of the week stuff, me included. The mythology episodes, once you know its overall ending, they're kind of boring to watch. Like sometimes they're really well paced and they got like a lot of good acting and stuff like that. But the overall story, it's stretching one story throughout the entire season. But then they break them up with the mythology episodes where they're just going to go investigate a monster or a creature or something like that. Sometimes they were humorous. Sometimes they were scary as hell. I like the fact that it didn't just stick to one rigid formula.
What's your top 3 best X-Files episodes? Go.
Oh, God. I have to think about that for a second.
Phoenix, go.
I want to go with the guy that sits on a billboard and makes the cars crash.
All right. I'll tell you my favorite episode, and that's Humbug. That's the one where they go to the trailer park full of circus people.
Oh, yeah.
I love the hell out of that episode. I've seen it a million times. I'll rewatch it a million times. Also, I personally met Jim Rose in the Enigma. They call him the Conundrum in the episode, but in real life, his name is the Enigma. The jigsaw puzzle guy. Shook his hand. Pretty cool.
Do you remember that episode with the 1950s car full of monsters? Is that one?
Oh, that one's called Home, and actually, I think that one got banned from.
It did. It was, yeah.
That one's fucked.
I watched that one when it first aired.
That's a Johnny song. I can't listen to that song anymore without thinking about that episode. Yeah. Wonderful, wonderful. Oh, get the fucking goosebumps, man.
Andy Taylor. That's your name, and Sheriff Andy Taylor. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he gets beaten to death with a baseball bat.
Yeah.
And that's a fucked up, violent episode.
That would be a show we could do an episode with. Off. Buffy would be another one.
No.
I like Buffy.
Buffy's fun. Angel.
X-Files is one of those ones where I wouldn't mind doing the bingo ball with that because, like I said, some of them are not so good. Some of them are great. And then there's just some of them that are just kind of middle of the road.
I like the one with the magician. Or not the magician, I'm sorry. The genie, the djinn. Where the guy wanted a boat and he got a boat in his front yard.
Everything that they get always just backfires on them.
Every genie thing. I don't remember that show that well, so I need to go back and watch it.
I've watched the hell out of it. And to answer your other question, Dick, my other 2 favorites are the 2 involving tombs. There's Tombs, and then there's one called I think it's called Crawl, and both of them involve a guy named Victor Toombs who can make himself real small and
right. Yeah. That's right.
Those are great. Yeah.
I think my favorite was the Musings of a Cigarette Smoking Man.
That was a good one too.
That's a good one.
Anytime you have that character, I love it.
Yeah. He was one of my favorites because
See,
Matt made me watch all of them one day.
All-time great TV show villain. Just awesome.
Yeah. But the last season, really sad because it just did not deliver. It pulled a Lost. It was just like they didn't know how to end it.
As much as I love the X-Files, after Mulder and Scully left the series, I ceased to stop finding reasons to watch it. But now that I know that, when you go back, some of that writing was still good, but you're missing the two core characters. The show lost its personality. It's one of those TV shows that really should have ended about 3 seasons earlier. You know what I mean?
It was a cash grab.
But it has From Dusk Till Dawn to Texas Blood Money's Robert Patrick. How's it not great?
Robert Patrick is a gem.
Great. But he doesn't replace David Duchovny on the show.
And From Dusk Till Dawn, the TV show, Robert Patrick, where he plays the Harvey Keitel role.
You're shitting me, really?
No, he really does that.
I watched the first season and I gave up after that.
Why would you watch anything on El Rey?
Because I love the first movie.
The first movie's great, but that's it. Never watch anything connected to it.
I think Robert Patrick actually has a clause in his contract that if any show lasts longer than 3 seasons, he'll show up in it.
Yeah.
I've really seen him in every TV show I've ever watched.
Sopranos.
Like at least one episode or two.
Yeah.
He was in an episode of Psych.
Wow. Wow.
Him and Ray Liotta will just show up randomly.
Yeah.
Yeah, really. They got the same agent, probably.
Ray Liotta was in the league.
Like, if he shows up in 3 seasons, well, I'll be in one. What the hell?
Yeah. Fuck it. I just think they can't say no because either Coke or rent.
Or divorce.
Coke divorce.
Yeah. Alimony's a bitch. Poor David Duchovny. He's got to have another X-Files show to pay back his wife.
Did you watch 10 and 11? Either one of you guys?
Yes, I own them.
Are they any good?
Like all seasons,
or
there are good episodes and there are not good episodes. The overall arc, no. The monster.
What is this?
Great.
Oh.
They had one called the Event Series, Dick, and basically it's season 10.
Oh.
Okay, because it ended at season 9.
Yeah.
And then you had
right.
they call it the Event Series, but realistically it's season 10. Okay, and then season 11 followed season 10 because it was so popular, and they vowed with season 11, this is literally the last X-Files we're going to do. We're done. I swear to God, we're not doing any more. Those had some great episodes, believe it or not. That very last season is worth watching.
Really? So did they tie up the story, do you think?
Yeah.
Okay.
They did. Okay. I don't know if everybody agreed with it so much, but it didn't make me angry. I was perfectly satisfied with the way it ended. So
I don't really much care for endings of shows. I like it almost no matter what. I like the last season and episode of Lost. I like the last episode of Dexter because I didn't give a shit about the show really. So,
I know how you feel, man. I'm one of about 5 people in the universe that actually liked the ending to Battlestar Galactica. Like it just.
I thought that was fine.
I thought it was great.
That was good. I liked. Yeah, BSU was fine.
The
Dexter was not.
All of these people are part of a big story, regardless of how you feel about them. They all have their role in this overall story that just. And when you think about this story constantly multiplying itself over and over and over again, it blows your mind. And I like the fact that this without spoiling anything, this show alludes to the fact that the original Battlestar Galactica is actually a thing that happened. It just happens over and over and over in different parts of the universe. Pretty cool shit.
No, I like, BSU was good. Yep. But Lost, I think the only reason I don't like the Lost, like I remember watching the last season of Lost, like excited. And every episode, as it's going toward the end, we're like, what the fuck is going on? Where are we going with this? And then when it ended, and that's what we got, that's exactly what they said it was not going to be, which they lied to us.
I'm fine with that.
Fucking pissed me off.
I was almost so happy it was ending. I was like, okay, there we go. We're done.
I have never Lost. I have no desire to start.
You know where you should end Lost is where you should end. It's the scene when that fucking freak show, the Party of 5 guy. What's his name? What is his name?
Matthew Fox.
Matthew Fox. Where he goes, we gotta go back to the island, Kate. We gotta go back. And that should have been the last episode. Because he goes cuckoo crazy and he lost his mind. Kate wants nothing to do with him.
He will not stop crying for a season.
When he's in between beating up bus drivers, he's crying.
His dad died 6 years ago at this point, and he can't stop fucking crying over his. I like that last season though. I like how they're dealing with the sci-fi.
I hated it. I thought it was going to be like Dark Tower, where it was a parallel universe, where it was like this was the center of the universe. They were going to figure out different realities, and they were going to transfer into different realities on top of different realities. But they didn't do that because they made all these allusions to Stephen King, and they didn't do a goddamn thing close to Stephen King, except waste time. So I guess they were a Stephen King novel. They waste your fucking time. And they had an ending that was saccharine.
And there's 75 different ideas shoved in one episode.
Exactly. Yeah. And anyway, I guess somebody. Oh, sorry. I was gonna say. Side note. I talked to a writer friend of mine that I met in Hollywood. He was a writer on Grey's Anatomy or something, and he said, when Lost was on, I was so excited, and I talked to one of the writers on Lost, and this was like season 4, and he said, that show's so good. Do you guys know what you're doing? Like, is everything planned out? Because it feels like you guys have this giant arc. And he said, we don't know a goddamn thing. He said, we don't have a fucking clue where this show's going. Yeah. And that was like ruined his whole life, I guess, this writer. Well, he said, I lost all hope in the system.
But that was put out in season 1, that they don't know where this is going. Toward the end of season 1, they kind of said, and they even had a contract in their contract for that show. They had I think it was a 2 or 3 episode buffer. So if we get canceled, we are guaranteed 3 episodes to wrap it up. And they didn't know what the plan was, but they wanted to be able to wrap it up in some way because they didn't want to be another show that just left the air with just a huge mystery.
Sure. Yeah.
So I like it. I get why people don't, but I really do enjoy that last season.
Wow. I'm shocked.
I feel like it's getting harder to end shows now with the social media and everything like it is. Like with X-Files, you didn't have so much leaked information out there and stuff like you do now, to where everybody just kind of believed that the X-Files had one overall arching story and they knew where it was going to go. Now we know it's pretty much what we suspected, where they were just making this shit up as it went along, and we fell for it, but we enjoyed the ride, Nowadays, it's getting harder to do that with shows. It's like you pretty much know how they end half a season before the last season. It's like, these are the things that are going to happen because this was leaked on Reddit by somebody that knows a guy that works in the writer's room,
Did either of you guys watch Wayward Pines?
No.
The first half of that, there's only 10 episodes a season. They only did 2 seasons. The first 5 episodes were so fucking good. And I'm like, this is a great mystery show. Like, I genuinely have no idea where this is going. And then episode 6 came out and they told you what was going on.
I hate it when they do that.
Oh. So the next 5 episodes.
All their cards.
I don't give a shit what happens. Now I know the mystery. I don't give a shit. And then it went for another season. I'm like, I don't give a shit.
This is an M. Night Shyamalan show, wasn't it?
Yeah. It was. The first 5 episodes are genuinely solid because it's built this great mystery. So I kind of appreciate Lost for having no fucking idea, because at least they didn't go, here's what we're going to do. Enjoy the next 6 years of your fucking life. No.
See, I feel like that's what they did to me.
And Fringe tried to do the same thing.
I didn't even fucking bother with Fringe.
I love Joshua Jackson.
I tried to watch it. I was done after a season.
Well,
I'm like,
two words, Orsi Kurtzman.
Oh, God.
They should be adjectives.
What was that older guy that was on that show?
Oh, the guy from Return of the King. Oh, fuck, I forgot his name. He's some New Zealand actor.
What that show lasted like 3 years, 4 years?
Oh, no, it went on for 100+ episodes.
Did it really?
Yeah, it got syndicated.
I watched that first half season. I'm like, I'm good. I get it.
I couldn't do it.
Like
I couldn't watch it.
Oh, I get it. Okay, bye. You're Quantum Leap. Okay, get it.
Okay, bye.
It's Quantum Leap with Jerry O'Connell. I get it. I don't need to watch this.
And John Rhys Davies, please.
I was trying to think of his character name from Indiana Jones. For some reason,
Sala.
Thank you. Outer Limits.
Who? Of the sea.
Queen's Navy. Anything else we have to say? Because we haven't talked about this episode in a while. Probably 20 minutes.
Well, we said what we had to say.
I don't want to.
I don't hate it. I'm not hating on it.
I'm
No.
not
I'll
mad.
give it a chance. Yeah, I don't want to judge an entire series based on one episode.
No.
I'm not that guy. I don't want to be that guy.
I don't think this represents the show, but it's sad that he said this is the one that won, that got voted in as the best.
Well, and you didn't mention this, but you saw this was on IMDb, what 8.2 or some shit like that?
I mentioned it earlier. Yeah, 8.2.
Did you? Okay, I forgot.
Yeah, but also it's not like a show like Friday the 13th. The episode we watched a couple episodes ago on this podcast was very representative of the show. Like that is mostly what you're going to get from that show, and it was fine. It's wasn't great, wasn't bad. I don't regret watching it. We had fun watching it.
Yeah, it was the laugh riot.
I didn't really have a whole lot of fun watching this, other than making the game with you guys.
You were making fun while watching this. That's not a good thing. Yeah.
But if I watched it by myself, I think I'd be like, "What the fuck is going? What?" I'd be more angry.
I'd just be bored. You just probably fall asleep.
If I would have had to sit and watch this prior to doing this episode on my own, I'd have been pissed at everybody that told me to watch this. And they're like, you, and you.
No.
It's too long.
Oh, fuck you. Why don't you do that bit? Huh?
Fuck you.
I've been like that.
I'm glad you didn't play that whole clip from Half Baked because that's way too long. You're cool.
Was that from RoboCop? Yeah, that was RoboCop, right?
No, the You're Cool. Isn't that from Waiting? The movie Waiting? No, you're right. It's from Half Baked.
Half Baked. Waiting is a little bit different, but the clip you played.
You're a biggest fucking piece of shit in here.
Fuck you. You're cool. It's like some old lady. Like,
Yeah.
I don't really get that movie.
That's the end of Waiting, right?
Yeah, that's a different one.
Okay.
That's when that teenager, that like geeky teenager, gets pushed too far.
Hi, Bobby Reynolds.
Bobby Reynolds. Do I know Bobby Reynolds?
I don't know Bobby Reynolds.
Do you know this guy?
Nope.
What's up, Dick?
You have admirers.
I hope so. I don't want to be wasting my fucking time.
Like the Outer Limits did.
God damn it! Fucking shit, people.
Oh, what'd he say?
Oh, that was from earlier.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, we're gonna follow his lead for the next one of those.
Yeah, like I'm sure they're fine. Like Outer Limits is a different breed of cat.
I think
it's like
the baseball ball will work against us with the Outer Limits. I think we have to go with recommended choices.
Well, that's what we're doing today. And
look where it got us.
I'm going to choose one of Victor's episodes next because I trust him.
We have to give it at least one more episode. If it's as bad as this one is, then we'll just have to be done.
Alternate option. We watch another 60s episode that Victor recommended. Next time we do Outer Limits, we're going to do the 90s version, 95 to 2002. I have the uncensored version, so there's titties, which is weird. So
at least there'll be titties and maybe some better makeup.
Alyssa Milano gets really nude with one of the London brothers. I don't know which one.
Jason.
Probably Jason, right?
He's the bigger star.
It's very nude and embracing the vampire.
Well, that's a classic of softcore pornography.
Yep.
Yeah.
Next to Misty Monday.
Misty Monday's still better.
So every 5 episodes, we're going to do a Never Go Back non-Tales from the Crypt episode. So that's why we're doing 2 in 3 weeks, is to get it back on the 0505. So
never go back to Misty Monday. Sorry.
Yeah. So this is episode 20.
Too, that you're going to be going back to your channel. Everybody should probably know that.
Yeah, if you're on the live show, we're going to LAW Studios from now on. So go subscribe to that feed. Every episode ends in 0 or 5. We're going to do a Never Go Back episode. I think the next episode, Adam, you picked one. Dick and I have not picked one. Twitter picked this one.
Fuck Twitter.
I don't give a shit who goes next. It doesn't fucking matter.
I think Dick should go next.
Yeah.
So just pick what? Just a random episode of any show from the 60s, or
no? I'll give you a list and we'll choose.
Okay.
I want it to be random.
Well, because I said monsters, which is probably the cruelest thing ever.
I'll tell you what we have after the show. I don't want to waste everyone's time going over all of them again, but yeah, we'll discuss that. That's not for 5 more episodes, so we have 5 weeks.
Oh, okay, fine.
But
we'll forget by then.
Outer Limits. I don't know what I would rate this episode. I'm having a really hard time because I don't hate it, but I don't. There's almost nothing I enjoyed, other than a couple shots and a couple scenes.
6.7.
5. 5.
Wow, you went real low.
We're a podcast.
4.
He was so disgusted he could only use his fingers.
I can hardly see it. Yeah, 4 out of 5.
5's like where I don't hate it, but I didn't like it.
I hated it. It's below average. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
4 is being generous here.
Can't argue with that.
I gave it 6.7 in honor of Psycho.
Okay.
Because he wrote that script.
Well, you should rate this lower then.
Well, I mean, I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt.
This is 4 years after Psycho.
Like I said, Hitch probably fucked him over or something.
Yeah.
You told me you give me 10% of the profits there, Hitch. No, I didn't. Fuck off.
You're being a real Hitchcock.
Cock.
When, like, The Village, a high score because you liked the whatever the bullshit he did with Haley Joel Osment was. Like,
I would give The Village high marks because of Bryce Dallas Howard is a cutie.
No.
Can I share a real quick story about The Village?
6 cents.
Yes.
When The Village came out, Dick and I went to see it in the theater. And you told me beforehand, you heard the twist was that everyone was black outside of the village. So I was sitting there waiting for that turn. Why would he lie? And I'm sitting there waiting, not realizing you were just throwing out a joke. And I'm like, oh, God. And the first person she sees outside the wall, and she's blind, is M. Night Shyamalan. I go, oh, fuck, he's right. This is what like, no. So, and when it ended up being just I was like, all right, I knew it was modern day, but like, yeah, that was what I remember the most about watching that movie.
Shit, you remember things that I just cannot remember at all.
Yeah.
I'm very clever, if that's what I said.
That's a really funny trick to pull on somebody, man.
That's pretty good. I'm very, very pleased with myself.
He wasn't saying it to fool me. He just threw it out as a joke, but I was like, that's probably what the fucking twist is. Like, so I'm sitting there watching going, no, that's not the twist. And she sees M. Night and I go, oh, fuck, it is.
I should have been more specific. I should have said they're all Hindu.
Just remember when he was like in Time magazine and they had his face like the next Steven Spielberg and all that. Like that was before we realized that he was only ever going to be known for one gimmick, and he was going to do that same gimmick over and over and over in every single movie he was going to do.
He's remembered for one of the funniest things I've ever seen in a movie, though, where an elderly crazy person shoves his dirty diaper into a child's face.
This is true. This is very true.
That was fucking hilarious.
I have incontinence. Fuck you.
Ah!
That movie was so bad. I saw it in the theaters.
Was it better than the guy from Signs where he says, you should be getting your toes licked by beautiful women? That's a pretty good line, too.
I hate Signs.
He's so... M. Night Shyamalan is just fucking whack job city, man.
Got some strange dialogue in his movies, but I like it.
You like hot dogs?
You like hot dogs, right?
Oh, my God. We got to watch The Happening again. I'm sorry. We should watch that.
Yeah, let's do that as an episode.
The lion rip off that guy's arm again.
And then the guy get ran over by a lawnmower. That was funny shit.
God.
And then John Leguizamo cut his wrists in the middle of the road.
And then Mark Wahlberg sits there and watches as the leaves in the tree. And I'm like, oh, fuck, who cares? I like The Visit. I like that movie. It's so stupid.
It's
they entertain the hell out of me. It's a B movie.
It's a funny movie. Yeah, it's a comedy.
Yeah. It's a B movie. If you watch it with not M. Night, because he didn't direct it, he just produced it.
No, he directed it.
Oh, did he really?
Oh yes, he directed it.
Oh God,
he wrote it. He wrote and directed that movie. Yeah,
I didn't realize he directed it though.
Oh no,
he still managed to get work after The Last Airbender. So.
Oh yeah,
that movie's not even fun. Or After Earth. Those movies are not even fun.
After Earth.
They're not. There's nothing to enjoy in those.
I'll give Last Airbender. The music was good. They have an interesting, like, adventurous score, and that's about it.
This was my face watching After Earth the entire time.
You gotta Adam, remove your fear. You got to ghost it.
You got to remove your fear, boy.
He talks in a space accent. That fucking movie.
Oh God, that movie sucks a fucking
I want
Pinkett Smith
Smith
dick.
to stop trying to be a serious actor and just go back to doing the shit that he did in the 90s. Just be
He
charming,
is
funny, and be entertaining. That's
Bad
it.
Boys. Bad Boys for Life.
Bad Boys for Life was good. I saw
I
that
didn't see it
theater
yet. I
and
need to watch it.
enjoyed the shit out of it. I really did.
I hate Bad Boys 2, and I love the first one.
The third one's way better than Bad Boys 2.
Bad Boys 2, everyone fucking loves it. And I'm like, I don't. It's so stupid. The first one is genuinely funny.
Yes,
the
it is.
second one I fucking despise. He grabs a dead lady's titty, and I'm like, what the fuck are we watching?
I don't think I've ever finished Bad Boys 2.
As much as I did, but I think part of that too is I saw that in a theater full of people, and they were loving it, and everybody was having a good time.
Question about the theater experience for Bad Boys 2. Do you remember?
No, this is Bad Boys 3.
Oh, did you see Bad Boys 2 in the theater?
No, I didn't.
Damn. Because in the theater, I was sitting there, I was watching it, and in to the frame backs up a Miller Lite truck. Beep, 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 and it goes all the way back and blocks the road. And it sits there for a good 2 Mississippi. And I was like, holy shit. And then I watch it on DVD. And it's just like, beep, beep, and it cut. And I was like, that was not what I saw in the theater. That was not, they cut that.
Mandela effect.
No, I remember pointing it out and going, this is fucking obnoxious.
Well, have you not seen a Transformer movie?
No, I saw the first one.
Well,
Here's one for you. Do you guys remember when you discovered the difference between widescreen and pan and scan for the first time? For me, it was the first time I saw Star Wars: A New Hope, the special edition or whatever, in a theater on the widescreen. And there's the shot where Darth Vader's talking to Princess Leia. And there's this fucking guy standing next to Darth Vader while he's talking. I'm like, now, is that special edition or was that the original shit? And I had to go back and research that just to find out because I don't remember that fucking guy ever being in this movie, just standing there. Like, I remember him in there, but he just kind of turns and talks to him. I don't remember him standing there for the entire scene. So
yeah, that's why I like widescreen versions better.
Widescreen and pan scan, they cut out a whole fucking guy from the movie. Yeah. He must have been pissed.
I remember trying to describe the difference to my mom when she would rent DVDs at the store. I'm like, get the widescreen. Please stop getting this.
Why would you even offer fucking full screen on a DVD?
I remember my dad being like, I hate looking at those black bars. It's wasted screen. I go, no, you're getting the full movie. You're not watching shit cut out. Like you're missing the movie.
No, they don't like
that. Don't you get it?
Oh, I paid for a whole TV. Like this is back.
I had people yelling at me when I bought Apocalypse Now for the first time in widescreen on VHS. And they're like, "Why would you buy it with the black bars on the top and the bottom?" I'm like, "Get out of my house! Just get the fuck out of my house and don't."
I'm not going to describe aspect ratio to you.
See how spoiled we are now with these widescreen televisions that automatically just fit it in its wide.
The only time I get pissed with those TVs now is when I buy a really old DVD and I pop it in and it doesn't have that feature, and I just have like this little square.
Yeah.
Oh, you get that with Twilight Zone.
Well, that was shot in pan and scan, though, as Twilight Zone, so it was shot in that aspect ratio.
Yeah, it was 4x3.
Square. 4x3, yeah. A lot of all those shows are,
I have a copy of The Wraith on DVD, and I was trying to watch it, and it's like 4x3 at best. It's really bad.
I want to see the TV that would actually fit Lawrence of Arabia on it, because it would be like a TV that's like this tall, but like that movie's like this.
That's the movie you could watch like doing housework.
Yeah,
that's the movie you could like. I got to vacuum, I got to clean the kitchen, but I'll put Lawrence of Arabia and watch it in the background.
Got a good soundtrack.
Fun to look at, not really fun to watch.
No, that's most David Lean movies though.
Yeah.
Like,
Not Leone though. Leone movies I could watch fucking straight through every time.
Thousands of times.
Yeah, I love Leone. That's my favorite. He's my favorite director. Is Leone, hands down.
He's in my top 5.
He's my favorite.
Sergio Leone.
Yeah.
You're the one that introduced me to Once Upon a Time in the West, and I have not stopped loving that.
I love the Man with No Name trilogy. I got this.
Yeah. Oh, they're great. I love. Did you watch Once Upon a Time Revolution or Ducky Sucker? Have you seen that one yet?
Ducky Sucker, I've seen. Yeah,
I have Ducky Sucker.
It's good. It's good.
It's surprisingly good. Yeah.
And then watch fucking Once Upon a Time in America. if you can.
Yeah,
because it's
roads
fucking long.
No, I like that movie when they talk about
great. Yeah,
she basically blows dudes for ice cream.
Yeah.
Great, it's great.
Oh, it's a great movie. Yeah.
James Woods is good in that movie.
Yeah. Once Upon a Time in America is a fucking masterpiece.
Yeah,
it's a great movie.
When they say it's part of his trilogy, like he has a separate trilogy, and I'm like, no, Once Upon a Time in America in the West is not the same.
People are obsessed with trilogies. They want to turn everything into a fucking trilogy.
Yeah.
It's like Robert Rodriguez's Once Upon a Time in Mexico. It's a trilogy to Desperado and El Mariachi. He's like, no, it's not. Those are all separate movies.
People say that E.T. and Close Encounters and War of the Worlds are a trilogy. I'm like, no, the fuck they're not.
No.
It's the only 3 Steven Spielberg movies based on aliens.
In that case, you got to throw Indy 4 into that.
Exactly.
You want to do that?
They're not aliens, they're trans-dimensional beings.
What the fuck ever?
Got to made up of 2 different kind of aliens.
According to George Lucas,
who I never believe.
Who ruined World War II for black people.
Oh, I like your bobblehead.
But stupid.
Oh, God.
George Lucas.
Why has George Lucas got a fucking Katharine Hepburn thing going on?
Yeah.
He's got diabetes real bad.
The corn is green.
I'm in the middle of his unauthorized biography, Skywalking, from like 1983. It's fucking great. Because it talks about shit that he don't talk about now. And it's like before he changed his myth, before he rewrote his own myth. It's great.
I want to release an unauthorized autobiography. I wrote this, but I don't authorize it.
I didn't like what I said, but I did it.
I want to do that so bad now.
Unauthorized.
Like I'm a Zodiac killer.
Well, that could be the next Things That Burn in Hell book.
There you go.
Unauthorized biographies.
Autobiographies.
Yeah, that's right. Which makes even less sense.
You should do one on all the comedies that came out in the 90s on DVD where they always say unrated on the top. Just
unrated.
Uncensored,
unrated version. I'm like, fuck you. You put like 3 minutes back in.
Chronicles of Riddick, unrated. The fuck? What?
Yeah, you don't see Tanny Newton's pussy in that. You gotta watch Westworld for that.
Yep. Worth it.
Jesus.
Worth it.
It is worth it.
She looks better naked than Dolores.
Yeah, she looks a lot better than that.
Yeah.
Although I don't need to see Tessa Thompson CG nudity again.
No, yeah, that was awkward.
They were like, I think I look better topless. I don't think that was really her. It looks like CG.
No, it was absolutely, it was body double. That's what they do now. If you got a new nudity, I don't think she has a nudity contract, like no nudity clause.
Yeah, she has that.
Yeah, so it was obviously a model, but they put her head on a fake body and it looks weird. Yeah, they've been doing that a lot these days.
Oh, especially her because she's in Disney stuff. So I get it, but they put her in shadows, so she's constantly in the.
It makes it really hard to masturbate to.
I forced my way through.
I forced it, yeah, exactly.
Hey, the first episode of this podcast, I admitted to jerking off the Schindler's List when I was a kid.
You have to when you're desperate.
I would not do that. I don't recommend it.
Just watched our viewer count go.
I can't change the past. I can stop talking about it, but I'm not.
I'm just trying to think what scene, not the scene where they're running around like the old people are trying to discern who's healthy and who's not to go to the gas chamber. Is that the scene?
Probably the scene.
Our viewer count went from 12 to 4 right after you said that.
I was like 12. I didn't really focus on what I was watching.
Wow.
I'm turn all of them on my windows here, adding them up. Yeah.
This is free internet, people. Okay.
Yeah, this is free entertainment. This is what you get. We're not censored. We're not sponsored.
Yeah, this is.
We never will be, and this is why.
No, we don't want to be sponsored. We don't want to have to answer to anybody.
No fucking corporate here.
Brought to you by Amblin Entertainment.
This is brought to you by Palm Olive. No jerking off on this channel.
Brought to you by West Side Story, coming soon from Steven Spielberg.
Oh, fuck. That's really the movie he wants to end on. He wants to end his career on a remake.
So pathetic.
He's done plenty of remakes.
I was hoping he'd make like another like Jaws or War of the Worlds or something cool like that.
Do Jaws. Yeah, that's it. Let's have him do Jaws again.
No.
I'm kind of fine that the new Indiana Jones movie is going to be written and directed by what's his name, the guy that did Logan. And Walk the Line. What's his name? I forgot.
Oh,
James Mangold.
Yeah, James Mangold. I like him.
James
Did you
Wayne.
see Ford versus Ferrari. Ford versus Ferrari was pretty good.
I still haven't seen it. I gotta watch it. I gotta
That
see that
movie
one.
was not advertised almost at all.
No.
And I was looking at this poster. It was like coming out in like 2 weeks, and I look at the poster. I'm like, why the fuck? Like Logan is great.
They kind of snuck it out there.
Great career, like Walk the Line and stuff like that. Like those are great movies. Why the fuck is this movie in? It's got all these giant movie stars in it. I'm like, why is it being
You
advertised?
know what else? That movie on paper sounded boring as fuck, but I went to the theaters and watched it, and I was genuinely entertained by it.
It's right here. I want to see. I want to watch
I don't
it.
give a fuck about cars, and
Yeah.
frankly, you don't need to know shit about cars to enjoy it. So that's
And I am not a Matt Damon fan, but
No.
I'll watch it.
he's good if you get him with good actors. You put somebody with Christian Bale, and Christian Bale will generate chemistry out of thin air. And that's exactly what he did. He's just that good.
I'm tired of you walking on the fucking set, man.
And I love it when he has his actual real accent in the movies because he got that really Cockney accent, and he's playing himself in the movie because he's just a real abrasive asshole, and I just enjoyed it.
Aren't they going to remake Newsies?
Probably.
Or is that a joke I heard?
I don't. In this day and age, they're probably fucking remaking it.
It's hard to tell.
Yeah.
Live TV a couple years ago, didn't they?
Yes, they did.
Maybe that's what they're doing. I don't remember. But
Yeah.
let's get out of here.
Yeah.
LIWstudios.com for me.
LostFlix.com.
Nothing.
Buy his book.
Yeah, buy the book if you find
Oh,
it.
the
Fuck
book.
you.
Oh, here, I got something I want to plug. Join the Discord. I have a Discord now, and Leo Red runs our Discord. So I'm not going to say the link because that would sound weird, me saying in a podcast. So
HTTPS discord.gg/2HT.
There you go.
I killed my dog.
That wasn't very hard.
No. It's stupid. I didn't need to do it. It's
fine.
Let's get out of here. We need to draw next week's episodes. Holy shit.
Oh my god, get the magic ball!
I almost forgot.
Shake.
The ball of wisdom.
What are you guys hoping for? Another cartoon episode?
Oh,
Fuck
god.
you. Friday the 13th.
All right, I'll be right back. It was G8. So bait. We're going to bait this episode.
But she baited me good.
Holy shit. Okay.
Oh, it's a good one?
Not the Frankenheimer episode, but whatever.
Oh, shit.
John Frankenheimer, Jingleheimer Smith. His name is my name, too.
This is our first season 1 episode. And there's 2 episodes that have very similar titles. This one is titled 104 Only Sin Deep. There's an episode later called Only Skin Deep, but this one's Only Sin Deep. I have no idea
It's
who's in it.
probably about a haunted painting, and it has voodoo in it.
I'm not going to look it up. We'll talk about that. We'll find that out when we start watching the episode next time.
Excitement.
Yeah, I can't wait. So
Mark it on your calendars, everybody.
next week, Tales from the Crypt 104, Only Sin Deep. Until next time, and in the meantime, I'm Phoenix, fuck the Outer Limits West.
I'm Adam, fuck the Outer Limits Wilcox.
Dick, I don't mind the Outer Limits Dickette.
Fair enough. I should have done that.
That's okay.
It's okay.
It's fine.
It is what it is, you know.
It
It's
is
not
what it
Father's Zone.
Nothing else.